Hi, Simon. So, the reason for me to make the video today is like before, we make videos and the problem most of the cricketers go through. But now the video I want to make is on the strengths of the players who are playing in the Pakistan and England Test match. So, yesterday, Shan Masood, he played a very good inning. He made 150 odd. And for somebody to come from Pakistan and play in UK and play such a great inning is a huge task, because obviously you're playing in a foreign land, especially in UK, where the conditions are very difficult for the batsman. So now I want to talk about, what do you think are the things which are needed for people to come and play this kind of great inning, so our followers can know that if they want to apply those kind of mental techniques on their own abilities, they can become a much better player then.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely first class question. Do you know what? I think that I was only talking to a guy last night actually, who's a young fella, and he's only kind of 15, but he's a very very talented and just a really 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 nice lad actually. But we were sort of going over the same sort of situation or same scenario. And the first thing I said to him is that if you're uncertain about anything, this is not just cricket, this is in life generally. The first thing to do is, if you're uncertain, get excited. And he said, okay, that sounds like a really good plan. But how do I do that? I said, well, the first thing is that understand that your reality is completely in your mind. Okay. It's completely within your control. And for most people, that's a tough one to begin with. But let me give you a couple of scenarios. Okay. Let's just say that you are in a foreign country, and you are playing in front of, the normality, playing in front of a packed house. You're the opening batsman of the Test series, so it's the first Test. You've got the TV, media, all the eyes are on you. The spotlight is firmly on you. Now, you might find that one person will come out and describe that situation as completely terrifying, and the second person might come out and say, "This is unbelievably exciting. This is exactly what I've been looking for." So the choice is yours. And I say that is because I don't want people to be a slave of the environment, okay? What I want them to do is to be a master of their reality, because that's where we should all be. And it's so much easier than you probably think. So this is how you do it. Understand, to begin with, that nerves and excitement are both very, very kind of high energy states.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, when you're nervous, you're likely to have butterflies in your stomach, a faster heart rate, some tension in the body. But when you're really excited, you get a faster heart rate, butterflies in the stomach, and a little bit of tension in your body. It's exactly the same. The difference is how we label it and the tone of voice we use inside to describe it. So when you are feeling any kind of nerves or uncertainty about a situation, number one is that if you are to label that as exciting, if you were to say, "This is unbelievable. This is exactly what I trained for. This is what I've dreamt about. Just get me onto that pitch, get me into that wicket, and let me smash this ball around sixes and fours all over the place so you can exactly see what world class looks like. This is exactly what I was born to do." You see, you still got that high that high tempo, that high energy state, but where your mind will accept the words that you use and match them with those feelings, it will accept you're excited and just let you get on with it. You might have to regenerate it a few times, but it's so easy. So whenever you're in those situations where you're a little bit uncertain, a little bit nervous, change the labels, create a really, really strong internal tone, and you will just change your reality of the situation. If you actually, because obviously as a player, you've come across this, and as somebody from overseas, so when you came to the UK and started to play, what was it like for you?
I remember when I started playing in UK, for the first 3-4 games, I had a lot of problem, because obviously we had much easier wickets back home, and it was much easier for the batsmen to play. And obviously we had good fast bowlers back home, but still, if you could get used to the quickness of the wicket, it was much easier to play. But when I came to UK, it was much more difficult, because the ball used to move here a lot, and the conditions were very difficult for the batsmen. So for the first few games, I have a lot of problems because every time I was playing a shot, I was thinking, oh, I can't play. Then I had this confusion in my mind that, okay, I don't think I'm good enough and I'm not performing. Because for a batsman, performance is very important. And it's one of those things like, you get a positive feedback that if you perform, that you're a good player. But if you're not getting that positive feedback, which is performance, you're thinking, okay, I don't think I'm good enough or not. So I would say you need to have a lot of confidence from the people who are around you. So I was very lucky that when I came here, my skipper at the time, he gave me a lot of confidence. And he just said to me, you just need to have one good inning and that's it. You'll be an amazing player because you have all the ingredients to be a good player, but you just need to have that positive feedback. So I remember in my fifth inning, I got 80 odd, 86. And after that, I was on a different level because I was just playing. I had confidence. And like you said, I was very excited to go and play every time I was doing that. So I would suggest, if I would take me back in about 15 years ago, I would just tell myself that rather than under pressure, I would just always have to say to myself that, just go out, enjoy the game and learn through it. Because what I've learned over the years is if you can just stay in the positive frame of mind all the time, you always progress in your career. But every time you have the negativity, you have to change the negative state again into the positive state. And the cricketers, especially Pakistani cricketers, what they can do at the moment, they can just zoom out from that pressure situation, and they can just tell themselves it's in the long run we want to be the best players in the world. Yeah. And how you can be the best player is by overcome this situation. This situation is tough, but you learn a lot from this situation, difficult wickets, good bowling attack, a lot of pressure. And it's early on in their careers as well, because most of these batsmen, they're quite young. They still have a long way to go. Yeah. But they're very lucky that their support staff is amazing. They have world-class players with them. Their coach, the batting coach, the manager, everybody's amazing. So they can learn a lot from them. So just be positive, enjoy the game, and just learn through it. That's it.
Fantastic. That is perfect. That is perfect. Yeah, and there was another point. I can't think what it was. Can you remind me what the point we were going to cover?
How to adopt these situations. When somebody comes, getting used to these conditions, they're quite difficult, isn't it? Adapting. So how they can fast track adopting the situation, because obviously, you don't have much time. You only have 5-6 days. Obviously, this Pakistan team had about a month to practice before the test series, which was very helpful.
Yeah.
But again, if you're playing against a team who have good fast bowlers,
yeah,
they don't have much time to respond, isn't it? So how can you speed up the process of adapting to the new situation?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that it's just about being comfortable in your own shoes, being comfortable with the person that you are. I think you'll agree is that most sports competitors, especially kind of younger guys, late teens up to about 30, they tend to have really, really strong egos, which is great if you're a bit of as a competitor. You want something about you, absolutely. But when you are in a new scenario, in a new situation, I think fundamentally what you must be is just comfortable in your own shoes, in just doing, like we said before, about doing the basics. So instead of the ego, it's more about saying, I have a job to do. It's not about impressing the crowd. It's about doing the job and doing it to a world-class standard. So again, it's going back to the basics things and understanding that means it's not always going to be pretty. Okay. Not always going to be the most amazing. So when I spoke just now and I say, when you come out, it's about knocking sixes and fours. Of course, that happens, but not consistently, not all the time. There are going to be times when you have to play the defensive shots and you're going to have to just get away with it a little bit. But the reality is that what you have to be is mentally tough. And being focused on every single shot. You see, if you decide that instead of thinking about, I'm going to be batting all day, and it could be hot weather, it's going to be a ground and the conditions that I'm not normally used to, then of course you can become sort of very negative towards the situation. But if you say, no, my job is to play each and every shot individually to the best of my ability. And once I play that shot, no matter what happens, Once I played that shot, bang, it's history. Bring on the next one. See, now instead of thinking about, I'm going to be playing X amount of shots today, you're actually playing one shot many, many times over. So, and if you can adopt that, you're actually taking the first step of being a world-class sportsman anyway. You know, I'm back in my sport, snooker. I remember years ago, it was 1980, and there was a snooker player by the name of Alex Higgins. And by far in those days, he was the most gifted player the world had ever seen. I mean, he was outrageously talented. And he, I think at the start of the match, he was something like 5-2 up, and he lost the match 18-16. And the first thing they did was when they interviewed him, they said, so what happened? And he said, well, the problem was I started to become the entertainer. And that's exactly right. He then started to please the crowd. Instead of doing the job that he was supposed to have done, just let his ego take over and he started to please the crowd. And the fact is that he actually sacrificed the world title to be an entertainer. You know, when he looks back, you know, when people look back on that now, I'm sure they think, goodness me, he should have won so much more, but he was just a very flamboyant character. So yeah, it's about doing the basics really well, being comfortable in your own shoes, and just understanding that your job is to do your job as a batsman and not entertain the crowd.
I'm just going to add one more thing here, which is about the guy who played this, Shan Masood, who played the inning yesterday. Because the thing he was doing yesterday was like he was being comfortable in the situation he was in. So this is the kind of innings he has always played. He has never been an entertainer. He knows his limits. Yeah. And this is the kind of inning he played yesterday. So even he scored 150, but he knew that he was always playing in his strong points. He never went towards extravagant cut shots or pull or anything. He was just playing straight in the V. That's which made him a very secure play, basically. And like you said, he wasn't entertaining. He was just being comfortable on the basics. And the basic is, which is always been his strength.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would suggest to all the players these days is like, you know, the learning from the session today is like, you know, you have to know your game first. And once you know your game, then you just have to be comfortable in your game. And you don't have to copy other people thinking like, okay, if he's playing this game, this shot, I can do the same as well, because everybody's different. Everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. And if your strength is to play straight or play a certain shot, it doesn't mean you have to copy somebody else and do his thing as well, because everybody has got a different personality and different way of living, different style, isn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm sure you like the video. So if you like the video, share it with other people and give us the feedback, and hopefully we'll make more videos for you. Thank you very much.